Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Money.Finance podcast, DJ Sbu and Grey BTC. Now, what I want us to talk about today, Grey, is jobs and money. It's a brand new year, 2022. You'll hear a lot of people talking about their brand new year's resolutions. You're still going to hear people looking for a better job or looking for that other job. No matter how much you can preach entrepreneurship, not everybody's going to be an entrepreneur. Sure. So other people are still going to start at the bottom. But there's jobs everywhere. And sometimes when I say the concept of there's a lot of money out there and there's jobs everywhere, some people fight with me. They're like, yeah, you're speaking from a position of privilege. There are no jobs anywhere. I mean, what is your take as far as jobs are concerned?
So, the job thing is quite interesting, but what we can actually talk about maybe also is how to actually get a job right now in today's life.
I think that's even a better conversation.
I think how to get a job. If you had to be in a position where you're not at this position where you are now and you need to get a job, what would you do?
I think, let me tell you what I did back then. I would put on a CV. I would always call companies, send emails, and then I'd wait to be called for interviews. When I do get called for an interview, I take 1 or 2, sometimes even 3 taxis to get to the interview place. Get interviewed, sometimes get rejected. That's what I did then.
Yeah. When was that? When was that?
Let me say definitely over 25 years ago.
25 years ago. I see.
So right now, maybe I wouldn't tell you what I'll do, because I don't even think that way. I don't even think like somebody who wants to go look for a job. I'll always think of creating jobs. Yeah.
It's interesting. So, I mean, in the last few years, I finally got into a position of hiring people, right? And I learned something different from doing that. I learned how people are approaching getting jobs. So what you said right now, you'll be surprised that there are people today still doing that to get a job in 2022. They still just, I think there was a point when email and fax came around, people were using these tools as a randomizer. They would just send a bunch of email to all different companies, right? Exactly. Fax to everybody. And I remember I don't have any qualifications academically. So I was looking for jobs to work for rich people's houses, right? To be a cleaner or to cut grass. So what the people used to tell us, that you go to all these rich people's houses, you throw your CV in their mailbox, completely random. So you just put your CV in, and you just completely throw it in there. Now I think about it now, I'm like, how stupid was I to actually do that? That's why it wasn't working.
Yeah.
But now that I'm hiring, I see people doing this thing every day to me. I put a post out about a job, and then they send you just a CV. No, not even a subject in the email, no body in the email. They just send CV out. And I'm like, oh, you're really trying to get a job? So, yeah, I think now in today's life, how would you approach getting a job?
Getting a job would be more digital, obviously. It won't be like back in the day. But a lot of the people, I think, the psychology that we have when we're looking for a job is to tell the potential employer about ourselves. But I think a lot of people, they miss the point. I think they get to fall into the trap of speaking more about themselves when they're selling them, which is a good thing. That's what you must do, of course, when they're speaking or communicating with a potential employer, and forgetting the most important part of looking for a job, which is telling the potential employer more about what you're going to do for them, or how you can help them become better. If it's an individual, how you can help clean their house better. If it's a potential company, how you can better certain services in that company. Because prior to you writing that CV, you would have done research about the potential employer in the first place.
Right, absolutely, you're right about that. So, I don't have any qualifications, but I did get a chance to work for I taught myself how to code, how to do animation, and edit videos. So I finally got proper jobs at some point.
You upskilled yourself.
Upskilled myself, yes. And then go to a place to get jobs. So it was still challenging because they were still looking for graduates. So you had to really stand out for you to sort of get a chance. So the way I got around that was I became so good that I would, if we go at an interview, I'll probably be the highly skilled guy among all the graduates. So that was my trick, right? The second trick was that I wasn't looking for jobs in the traditional sense. So most people are looking for job posts. They're going to the newspaper, who's hiring? that's like, oh, that's gone, you know. I got most of my jobs on Reddit. People still don't believe it. I got most of my jobs on Reddit, on Discord, this obscure, and on Quora, these obscure places that you wouldn't even expect to get a job. And I still hire people from those areas, right? Like LinkedIn, for example, I think that it's slow for me because everybody goes there. So if you see a job post on LinkedIn, you have like thousands of people applying for it. That for you to stand out, it's very difficult. So like another thing you said was to understand the need of the employer is looking for, and you talk about that. And in today's world, also, this is very important, by the way. Most people they usually talk about their qualifications. It's nice, you know, you studied for this thing that you're trying to do, and you want to show that you put in work, but it's not as helpful as if you tell me how you're going to solve my problem. I don't care whether you got this qualification and that, because the problem is, I mean, I wish we could actually spend 2 hours on this, but I see a lot of people, you post a post about, oh, I need someone to do this and that. Or they're going to send you just scans of the degrees. So I'm like, yo, what is this going to help me about you? Because one need to understand that for every profession that's out there, let's say you're looking for an accountant. How many accountants are there in the world? How many accountants graduate even in South Africa? So many of them, thousands of people. So if your proposition is simply that I have a qualification in this, basically you're not differentiating yourself from all the other graduates.
So there must be something that this is what I can do, something that I can do that I think I can do better than the rest.
The rest, exactly.
Right?
That is
so then I stand out.
That is a hook, yeah. I think that is a hook, because if everybody just send their degrees, I've got a degree in accounting, then as an employer, literally, what am I going to look at to now be like, but this lady here is the one? So I think most people need to tell a story about themselves. I graduated from this, but you know what? I traveled through different cities of South Africa on a bike with my friends. You need to sell your character, and also how unusual you have been able to solve different problems. Like, make your application really worth the reading. Because if you send a bunch of documents, I'm just going to be bored. Like, oh, okay, another one of those. What do you think about that?
I totally agree. And I always like to say to people, it's like growing a YouTube channel, or let me say, growing a social media platform. It's more about your audience. Yes, as much as it's about you, but it's mostly about what is it that the audience is drawn to, that I can rather focus on, as opposed to me all the time. And obviously, then let's talk about me. So I've done a lot of radio and TV work way before social media came. So I've had some sort of popularity even before social media, right? But what has changed compared to then, from then to now? Then a lot of people were interested. What am I wearing? What am I driving? What am I drinking? I was pissing in some corner. You know what I mean? Like, they're worried about me, or they're interested about me. That now things have changed. A lot of people don't even care about their favorite personalities, whatever, anymore, because they're also broadcasting themselves. They care about themselves. That's how people are right now in 2022. Right. So it's the same thing with looking for a job. That when we speak about ourselves so much, we forget that the employer is actually looking for a certain skill, or is looking for a certain problem to solve. And if I'm going to stand out and be that person who's going to solve that problem, I need to say it out loud in the beginning. It's like trying to attract people from your YouTube video. You have to attract them from the first 3 seconds. So your interview, when you're looking for a job, rather than you spending most of that time, and I repeat, guys, telling us about yourself, rather spend more time on how you are going to help the potential employer become better, or become a better company, or solve such and such a problem. Rather show them your knowledge. Show them that knowledge that you're telling us about. You can't just be telling me about all these different degrees. Just show that knowledge that you have, that this is what you guys, I went through a website. This is some of the things that you guys as a company have been doing. These are the things that I think I can do better. I can help you in this. I can help you in that. This is, you know what I mean? Like, I believe that is a better way of getting yourself employed out there, as opposed to just rather focusing on yourself. And lastly, I think maybe on this episode, at the description, we must also maybe put up, if 10, if we can't get 20, maybe 10, maybe even 20 if we can, jobs or job descriptions that I believe our audiences out there, if they are looking for a job, they can try out. I mean, for instance, online, guys, there's a lot of ways on how you can make money doing drop shipping. There's a lot of ways on how you can make money building yourself as an influencer through YouTube. There's a lot of different jobs online right now, and I think some of the ones that we know, let's put them in the description and let's give them the homework.
And also we can challenge them. So if you're a graduate, I would like you to write down in the comments a job application without mentioning any of your qualifications. Just talk about you and what you can do, because there is no direct company or direct employer that we know of. We're just saying, okay, just tell us about yourself, but without talking about what everybody else would talk about. Like one of the things, I had a designer like 3 years ago, and you know how she caught my mind. It was a designer and also a lady doing marketing. These people, they told me exactly what was wrong about my website. That was their application. I went through the website. This is wrong because of X, Y, and Y. We can fix it by doing this and then that. And by the way, my name is this, and or I happen to have a degree in this, but I've spent the last couple of years traveling the world or whatever, and just learning through different cultures. I was like, oh, this is such a cool person, and then I hired them just like that. You know, so there is a I mean, it's different categorically. There's certain industries where you cannot do this, but there's definitely something you can do to make it more about the employer and not about you. I think there is always a way, you know.
I think maybe let's leave it there, and then that's basically your homework, guys. And then number 2, you can then take a look at all of those job descriptions that are sort of all those jobs that are on the description, and then see which any of them tickle your fancy.
Absolutely, and thank you guys for watching. And always remember, just because you learned one discipline of work doesn't mean that you have to stay there. You can always get into other professions as well and keep your mind open. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.